Hi guys, welcome to my channel. You see an empty seat and a different background, and it's me again, Priscilla Kuma, registered nurse, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, originally from Ghana, and I live in New York State. I work here as a registered nurse. I do nursing migration videos. Thank you for all who have collaborated with me on my channel, and thank you for all who have hosted me on your channel. Welcome all new subscribers. I'm glad to have you here. So today we're taking you back to Sierra Leone. I have a friend who comes from Sierra Leone. He's been living in the US for about 20 years and is here to tell us all about himself. Welcome to the hot seat, Amadu. Yay!
Hello people, how are you doing today?
Pardon me, why don't you come over here? I need to.
My name is Amadu. I work in the medical field. I am a Medical Laboratory Technician, short MLT, and I work at a hospital locally in New York State. Oh, I also do a podcast, and I also want to run the music game. So let's get it.
So he has he's like jack of all trades. So we're going to break it down and touch on almost all the aspects. So you originally come from Sierra Leone, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
How long, which part, if you want to mention a city, and how long have you been in the US?
Sierra Leone is very small. I was born in Freetown, the capital.
You grew up in Sierra Leone before coming to America. How was it like moving as a young kid to America and starting life all afresh?
Well, like I said, I'll say this again. Mm-hmm. You come to a new country like America or New York State, there's John's, Mike's, Joe's, and there's one Amadu, one of one. You can't duplicate that, and you are the outsider. You want to assimilate as fast as you possibly can, but it's not realistic. You speak funny, you talk with an accent, and they're like, "Oh, who are you? What are you doing here?
Where are you from?
Where are you from?
Africa?"
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was younger, I would be deathly ashamed to say I was from Africa.
Yeah.
As I've gotten older, they say, "Oh, what's your name?" I say Amadu. They're like, "Oh, that's pretty cool. Where are you from?" And I'm quick to tell them. But now, it's commonplace. Africa's getting popular.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go back to the motherland and, find their ancestral roots. Now, the African kids are the cool kids in school, which is pretty cool. But back in 97, 98, 99, the African kids had it tough. Yeah. And thank God, people are civilized. People are more exposed outside to the world. Yeah. And they have... Social media has made it possible to have a bigger reach outside of your own comfort zone. Yeah. You could be in America and you could totally look at somebody's Facebook status in Nigeria or Ghana. Yeah. Or you could go to Europe and France and video chat with somebody from there. Yeah. The world's very exposed now. So that makes it possible for us all to get along and hopefully live in harmony. But initially it wasn't the greatest experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you had all your education in the US, and you mentioned you were an MLT. What before we come to that, how did you start the school system?
Well, I came here in Sierra Leone. We had a civil war, so I moved here. I was supposed to be in 6th grade, but I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have the knowledge of a 6th grader. No. It was just you're passing. Go ahead, do it. Then the war came, and based upon your age, here's what is the grade that they put you in. That's one of the criteria that they use. So I came in, they put me in 5th grade. And I started from 5th grade on. But the thing is, what sucks is you come in the middle of 5th grade and you don't know anything. So you still have to catch up to what the kids are doing and how they're doing it. And the whole system in Africa and Sierra Leone is completely different. That's more leaning towards the British side of the world. So that's completely different from the educational system in America. Yeah. So me having to play catch up, me having to assimilate, I'd be in class, I'm playing on the computer while everybody else in the class is doing regular work. Yeah. And now it's completely different. Whereas if I was in Sierra Leone, it'd be like, you're part of that, it's normal, go sit down, do your work. So, that was different.
Yeah, it's very different. So you have to learn the hard way to catch you. You have to put extra work into something that somebody will just take one step. You have to 3 to teach yourself, learn and do extra work.
I have to assimilate. The teachers have to spend extra time with me. I went to summer school. There's a class called ESOL. And you came here at a younger age, you would have had to take it. Okay. It's English as a second language for non-English speakers. Okay. And you would have came in and they would have put you in that class. It's basically to help you assimilate, and you do English concentrated learning material, and then you do like social things with other kids from other countries, because it's a bunch of different people. All here you go, you're all foreigners. You go get to learn. You have to learn English because you have to assimilate. You have to become us. So that was good for me, because that's a time to like decompress and get away from like the big population of 20 plus kids in a class, and that was needed. It's good for the kids that come to not just like, oh, I'm alone. I feel I'm a foreigner and I'm alone. I'm alone in this. You're not alone in it. There's other people that are foreigners and they're going through the same thing you are. It's just you got to be willing to communicate.
Wow. So, and I'm proud of the journey you've done this. You've been living here for over 20 years. So obviously you're doing well in your field. So you went to the tertiary, and what did you study in college?
In college, I wasted a lot of time looking around. I was supposed to be a nurse.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Your mom is a nurse. Your family is all nurses in your family.
Everybody's a nurse in my family.
So why no thank you?
Well,
it wasn't for you.
I've done the customer service route. Nursing is direct customer service. Like direct here. You're taking care of people that may or may not want your attention, or may not care for your attention. Maybe based upon your skin color, or based upon just the fact that they don't want to be in the hospital. And I mean, I was told to do it, so I did it, but it wasn't like my main focus. So after a while, I went and got a phlebotomy certificate through BOCES. If you have BOCES, if you go anywhere and they say, they have a BOCES program or a program for adult learning, it helps like foreigners that are coming in and assimilating, because you could get a career started.
Okay.
You can get yourself started and start doing whatever it is you want to do, and it's a shorter time span. So I went through BOCES, did 6 weeks of phlebotomy classes, got a job as a phlebotomist. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. So I was like, okay, I'm doing a customer service bit, and being a foreigner, they're like, you don't smile too much. You don't look like you like your job. How come you're here? Why are you here? Why you look so uncomfortable?
Yeah.
I don't like it. So I was like, okay, let me see if there's a way I can get in deeper into the lab, because all I personally want to do is be the last line of communication.
He doesn't like that face-to-face interaction.
No, I love it. I'm a people's person, just not working for people.
Yeah.
So the phlebotomy field, I was like, well, is there more that I could do? I discovered that I can go into the lab where they do more tests, the phlebotomy phase is a pre-analytical phase.
Okay.
And then you go to the lab, that's an analytical phase.
Okay.
So right now I work in a lab and doing the analytical testing. I do testing at Highland, clinical stuff.
Okay.
Then at RGH, my job the main focus of my job is to make slides for cancer patients.
Oh.
So it's called cytology. There's a whole branch, cytology and histology. Their main focus is to find out which abnormal cells this person has and what kind of cancer, what part of the body it's coming from. Wow. So that's what I do Monday through Friday now, and sometimes on off days, I pick up hours at Highland and Highland Hospital. I do clinical stuff where I test COVID patients. I used to work in the chemistry department as well, which is all your analytes, your immunoassays. For those, basically
technical.
Basically blood work.
Blood work.
All your blood work and any sputum, bodily fluids that need to get tested in micro, and blood products get tested in chemistry.
So he first started out as a phlebotomist. What you say, phlebotomist? Somebody who pokes you, draws your blood, and takes it to the lab to run, basically.
Did it for 2 years.
He did that for 2 years before he moved on to do what he's doing now. He's in the cytology field and testing for cancer cells and all that. So he's still in the medical field. His family, his wife is in the medical field. They're all nurses, but he chose something different, but still medical.
Let me say this. I do not have a bachelor's degree, but there's money to be made. If you have an associate's degree and that's what you get as an MLT.
Okay.
And you make good money, you make enough money to live your life and live it comfortably. That's all you want to do the rest of your life, you could do that. But that's not all I want to do. Ambition, sky's the limit. I have a bunch of other things that I want to do. This is just stepping stone to be able to make enough money to pay my bills and invest in the things I love to do.
Okay.
As you can see, one of them is also on my hat.
That was going to be my next question. So I know you do so many things. So talk to me. You own and run a podcast. Talk to me about your podcast.
I do. My podcast is called Fan Faces. I did not come up with the name. As clever as it sounds.
Okay.
The name was made up by my co-host. His name is Andrew.
Okay.
Andrew has the trademark to the name, and I was like, let's do something with it. I was like, why not do a podcast? It's not a video podcast, but even though we do shoot behind the scenes videos, it's not a video podcast. It's more auditory. And we record once a week an episode, about 30 minutes or so, 30 to 40 minutes, give or take. Because I know for a fact, at this moment in time, I'm not that interesting for people to sit down and listen to me for 2 hours. Podcast is about sports.
Okay.
So I try my best to include some Sierra Leonean sports, some African sports content in there towards the end, and then American sports and and popular culture. Popular culture basically is everything around the world, whatever is happening. Okay. We spoke about the Ukrainian war, spoke about Kanye West, U.S. government a little bit.
And I was on your podcast. We spoke about healthcare workers, we as immigrants, Africans. Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting take on it, because there's people out here that, when you're struggling, you feel you're all by yourself. But there's a bunch of Africans out there that are all struggling in the same sense. Like, you come in and in your head, your English is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But they hear you. They're like, why do you talk so funny? And then you're like, I'm not talking funny. You're just not listening.
Yeah. And the patients keep asking you, what do you say? What do you say? Where's your accent from? Every day. Where's your accent from? My God, I'm speaking English too.
Another reason why working in the lab is perfect for Africans.
Yeah.
We're not introduced to it, but we should get used to it. There's more than nursing. You get into the lab, you deal with basically 0 patients. You get their samples, you do that, and then I don't talk to anybody that's not a doctor or that's not a nurse. Those are the people I talk to, other professionals. Both the jobs I'm in, it's rare that I talk to a patient.
Yeah, you don't come in contact with them.
So it makes my job easier. I don't get asked, why do you sound so funny?
Yeah.
I can't place your accent. What's your name mean? I don't get any of that.
When did you come to America?
No, I don't get any of that. All I get is, oh, what's your name? Amadu. Oh, that's interesting. This is because the people that we deal with, that I deal with on a regular basis in the lab, educated and exposed. It's not just, I come home, I pop open my 6-pack, turn on the TV, and see what craziness is going on in the world. I'm well read, I'm well researched, I'm educated, and I interact beyond my own reason of thought. I don't just look at the world as if I don't know it, it doesn't exist, and if I haven't read it, it never happened.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of it, and it's wonderful. There's more than just nursing. There's a whole bunch of people in the middle there that work in the medical field, that all Africans. If you feel ashamed of your accent or you feel self-conscious, you could become a X-ray technologist. You could become a medical laboratory technician or technologist. You literally have to talk to nobody. And if you talk really funny, or if your accent's really thick, your coworkers will try to understand you. But if they can't understand you, they'll say, okay, whatever. And you don't have to deal with anybody that you don't want to. I can go to work, log into my computer, do all the work I need to do, and not talk to one soul.
Wow.
It sounds bad, but it's the nature of the job.
Yeah.
Or I could turn around and socialize if I feel like it. That's also a luxury extended to me, and that's fine. I like that. I like it that way.
Okay. So my question is, why do you think that all immigrants, when we come in, we want to run into the nursing field or CNA, nursing assistant? Why do you think that's all we know, so that's what we go for? My case is different because I started a nurse in Ghana years before I came here, but you see everybody coming from Africa running into healthcare.
I'm going to tell you this. You come into my household, I'm leading you to the healthcare field. You go into another African's household, they might lead you to the healthcare field. The reason being, Throughout the pandemic, where were you?
I was at work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Throughout the pandemic, you had a job.
You had a job, yeah.
A disaster, you have a job.
Yeah.
The sky falls, you still have a job.
Yeah.
As long as you continue to do what you need to do, you still have a job. That is why it's reliability, dependability, and the fact that you are given the opportunity to earn. We come here and they say, you're like, well, you're in Africa, it's difficult to find a job. You could have the best education. If you don't have that connection to that one person that could get you the job, you won't probably get a job. You're at home sitting saying, oh, I hope God got me tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. But if you feel that's how it works, then that's forever on your side. If you come to America with me, all the social subjects that everybody wants to do, that's fine and dandy. But make sure you match it up with something in the medical field or something that you love to do. It doesn't have to be in the medical field, but you love to do it.
Okay.
You could prosper and innovate and make money. But for your safety, even if you get a little phlebotomy certification, you sleep well. You're not a millionaire, but you could pay your bills, and you could live regular like everybody else, and that's all we ask for.
Okay, so that brings me to my question. You want to mention how long it took to have the phlebotomy training, and you had a certification, the license they gave you, or the certificate you got. What is it called?
No, it's just a certificate of completion. Because I went through BOCES.
Okay.
It's not, when I became a medical laboratory technician, I had to sit a board's exam just like a nurse would. Okay. I have a license through New York State.
Okay.
I have a degree from Monroe Community College.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And do you want to give me a range? When you started off way back, a range, what was it, like hourly pay, and how many hours were you working?
As a phlebotomist? All right, as a phlebotomist, I started in 2013.
Oh, years back.
Yes. As a phlebotomist in 2013.
Oh, do you know how much somebody starting today, 2022?
Nope.
Okay.
They've adjusted, of course, but as a phlebotomist back in those days, it was $12.35.
Yeah.
And minimum wage at that time was 7 something, 8 something. So the money was excellent.
It was good, yeah.
Starting out. But now inflation, cost of living's going up.
Yeah.
So things are a little different. And there's base minimum wage pay of $15 an hour. So if you're paying me as a phlebotomist, they're probably making $17 to $19 to $20 an hour. So
this year?
No, yeah, possibly. Due to inflation and adjusted cost of living.
Adjustment, yeah. So before we forget, Fan Faces, where can we find you on social media? Oh, okay.
I have a Final Cuts Media company with a Facebook page.
Okay.
Final Cuts Media is the conduit through which I push my podcasting. Okay. And not just a podcast, I'm also interested in music. I'm interested in promoting individuals that have the ability to sing, the ability to produce, the ability to act, the ability to tell jokes and be great comedians, not just for the continent of Africa, but internationally.
Okay, I know you are currently, I don't know whether you're managing or you're co-producing. There's an artist from Sierra Leone. What's his name again?
I have
music with me.
I have 3 artists per se.
You want to mention
the first one is the biggest one.
Okay.
His name is Markmuday.
Okay.
But
Markmuday.
He just did. I had my friend over here, Svet, the hip hop violinist. Look him up. He was on America's Got Talent, and I had him do a cover of Markmuday's song that he did with Nigeria Zone Mastercraft.
Oh.
It's called Freetown Jalloh. It's a pretty big song.
Yes.
It's doing well.
I've listened to it. It's good.
So I had him do a cover, and that is my beginning of my marketing ploy to take over. Okay. I want to be the conduit through which all Africans come through to blow up. When I say blow up, get exposure in the U.S. market, because this is the market. It's the hardest market to break through. They say it takes $200,000 to break an artist on the radio to have their songs played across all different platforms. Yep, $200,000. I don't have $200,000 at this moment in time. All I can hope for is my connections, my relationships that I'm building, and I'm working on that. But the guy that I hope will get me will work together well and put me there I have two guys that are working behind me, but the guy and that's the lead horse will be Markmuday. Once he comes to America, I intend on getting him some interviews. I intend on, visiting some radio stations and giving him the opportunity to be seen and heard. And eventually, enough people hear the buzz about him, and the cover that I had my friend do, Svet the hip hop violinist. Hopefully that takes off too and goes viral and catch some ears and people contact me and. You can contact me. I mean, Final Cuts Media is on Facebook, it's on Twitter, and it's on Instagram. Final Cuts Media. Fan Faces does not have a website. Okay. It's just a podcast. I put it out. It's on all streaming platforms.
Okay. So I'm going to leave Final Cuts Media in the description box. You can go click on it and go to their page and see what they're doing. You mentioned relationships. How has it been growing up and making friends outside your comfort zone and mingling with people as a Black male and African living in America, where majority of the people are white? And how has it been gun violence and gang and all that? How has it been growing up?
I'm very sheltered.
What do you mean by sheltered?
What do I mean by sheltered? There's things that go on in what they call the dark web that I have no clue about.
Okay.
That's what I mean, that I'm very sheltered.
Okay.
And also, I made friends with foreign white kids.
Yes, you do. For sure.
I have friends with foreign white kids and other foreigners. That's how I acclimated. I never, I mean, I have friends, the typical American friends, but I was never the one to really, I played sports, so that kept me away from being bored.
Yeah.
I played soccer, did wrestling, and that's basically a quarter of the school year, and by the time that's done, it's summertime, and I played soccer in the summertime as well, so I didn't have time to and then eventually I had a job, so
yeah,
that's where I met. I didn't have time to do crazy things because I had my time occupied doing other things. Doing sports, and I really didn't make friends till I got out of high school. Okay. Once I got in college, when I started making the friends some of the friends that I've had for over 18 years now, 18, 19 years now. So in high school, I was just go in. It's like you're working, punching the clock. You go in, you go to school, you do your work.
Because that's what you have to do, yeah.
And then come home, plus having African parents or African uncles and aunts.
Yeah.
My uncle was no nonsense kind of guy.
In case you didn't know, he's a dad of 3 kids. He's married. And how has it been like being a dad, raising kids in this environment? Work and everything else you're doing, plus being a dad and a family man and a husband. How has it been like?
Initially, it comes across as hard. Yeah. But right now, it's what I do. It's normal life. It's what happens.
It has become your norm.
It's my normal life. Yeah. So it's not anything out of the ordinary thing. Case, and plus the kids are older now, so it's...
Yeah.
I've instructed them. I've laid the groundwork down Africanly.
He's a strict African dad.
Africanly. I laid the groundwork like an African would.
You did a good job raising the kids.
And now,
yeah,
I'm not a yeller. I don't scream. I just say, hey,
put it down.
Do what you got to do, man. Don't do that. Because you don't want what's gonna come out of it. You won't like it. But I make them exercise. That's what I do. Keep them healthy.
Okay. So, I know you frequent Sierra Leone. You've been going back and forth. You recently went home and came back.
I fell in love with Sierra Leone.
Yes. So you just came back. How has it been going back? Has the environment changed? Are the people receptive? Do you love going back home?
I love going back home, but people want to rob my pockets. You're the man from America. You got the dollars.
They don't get it that you have to bust your back to be able to.
No, I mean, living over there like they live, I'm rich. Living over there like I live here, I'm a regular average Joe. I'm back to where I am here.
Yeah.
And it's not. I love going back. I like being there. I like being. I don't know, for some reason, when I
it's the connection there.
When I get there, definitely is a connection. Once I get back there, it's like I love it. I love being there. I don't want to leave when I go.
Aww.
But you got to come back and make this money, and there's no job there's jobs, but you got to be like super qualified. You have to have a master's degree, because if you want to work for like the U.S. Embassy or something like that, you need to
Yeah.
Get yourself educated.
Yeah. So this is a general question. What do you think if you're given the chance to be a president of Sierra Leone or any other African country? What do you think one of the major things you want to touch on, or something you wish you could change or fix to help the people living in all these African countries?
Give them electricity.
Okay.
Bring power to the country.
Okay.
Make us be able to be more reliant on our resources that we have. But the reason why I say power, a hospital closes at 5 o'clock over there.
Because there's no light, electricity? Power as in electricity?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, have you ever been to a hospital here and they say the ED's closed?
No, ED never closes in America.
Imagine that.
24/7.
You're sick. You're gonna die. The ED's closed. Or we don't have the equipment that you need. We don't have things to run the equipment that you need.
It's really sad.
You need power. If you have electricity running 24/7, as it should, the continent of Africa and Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Ghana, we're on the belt there of the equator.
Yeah.
And we could really use solar power well. Solar power and green energies. All the platforms that they use for green energy. The continent of Africa could really benefit from that as a whole. And we could be the greenest the greenest continent in the world.
Yeah.
But the knowledge
And
the corruption is deeply rooted, and it makes it complicated.
Yeah.
So if I was president for Sierra Leone or whatever African country, bring power, electricity to the country. Because with that, it solves a whole bunch of other issues in my mind.
Yeah.
You could go to the hospital and it's not closed. People are working.
Yeah.
People are earning an income because now, and people are working, they're earning an income, and then everybody else could be doing what they need to do. You don't just have 10 to 8 hours of sunlight. You have 24 hours to do whatever it is you want to do and become whatever it is you want to become. Imagine studying under a lamp, candlewick lamp.
Yeah, and studying.
Well,
Anyway,
they did it.
it's been fun talking to you. If you want to see Amadu back on the channel, just put a comment below and we'll be back. I know he's definitely going to be back. It's summertime. We're all going to be out. I'm very happy that you made this time and you made this happen. Any final words before we sign off? My name is Priscilla Kuma, registered nurse, RMBSN. Share this video with other people.
Bring power to Africa. Barack Obama started it. Let's spread the wealth. And you don't just have to become a nurse. Get in the medical field.
Yes.
And do whatever it is you want to do. And if you want to hide your accent, get in the lab. The lab is good for you. The lab is your friend.
The lab is your
The
friend.
doctors need us.
Yeah.
Without us, they can't do any diagnosing.
You cannot.
Follow Final Cuts Media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Fan Faces, the podcast, is on all streaming platforms. And Andrew, I'll give you a shout out. My friend Andrew, my co-host, he has a book called 19 Strings for the Harp.
Okay.
It's based in Niagara Falls. It's pretty good. I'm not a big reader, but I read it and it's an awesome book. Check it out on Amazon.
Okay, thank you all. He mentioned I'm going to link them in the description box so that you can follow their Facebook, support African music, support their continents, and thank you for making Africa proud. We're proud of you.
Support Markmuday.
Support Markmuday. I wish I can play his song here. Thank you very much. It's been fun. It's been great.
Yes.
Signing off. Peace out.